In this video, I want to share with you one of my very favorite plugins that you can get to plug into your WordPress site that will help you do a variety of things as far as sharing content, getting subscribers, that sort of thing. It is called the Ultimate Social Media Icons Plus. And this one plugin will let you put icons for the various social media sites on your website. It'll also let you easily create an opt-in list, a subscriber list, and will even let you do a pop-up where when someone comes to the website, a little screen will pop up and ask them if they would like to subscribe. So if you don't have this plugin, simply go to your plugins section, click on the Add New button, and you'll go over to the Marketplace and type in Ultimate Social Media Plus. And what you'll see is this should be the first one that comes up. It is one of the most popular. You can see 5 stars. And to install it, I already have it installed. But if you don't, you're going to see an Install Now button. When you install it, it will install it, add it to your list of plugins. And you can go back to your plugin page. Scroll down, and mine is already activated. If yours is not, it will say activate. Simply click to activate the plugin. Now, once the plugin is activated, you are going to see it added to your left-hand bar here. Ultimate Social Media Plus. You'll click on that. And one of the things I really like about this plugin is how customizable it is. It really lets you set up almost every aspect of this simply by clicking some screens and following some instructions. So when you go to the Ultimate Social Media Icons Plus page, and again, to get there, it should be in your left menu, you're going to see all of the setup options available to you. You can select which icons you want to show on your site. You can tell the system what you want those icons to do, where they should be displayed. You can also give design and animation to it where someone mouses over it, does something funky. You can display the counts, all kinds of customizable stuff. When we go through, I'll explain all of that. And then also, as I mentioned, if you want to put a pop-up asking people to subscribe, or you can even add a subscription form to your website. So to give you an idea of what this looks like, let's go over to one of my other websites. Let's go to Interviewing Authors. Now you can see on Interviewing Authors, I have social media buttons added to all of my posts. And this is being done via the Ultimate Social plugin. Like on Facebook, tweet this post, share on Facebook, Google Plus share, LinkedIn share, and Pinterest. Now you can very easily put the same icons on your website. I also use them here on Entrepreneur Code. If I go to a particular article, you're going to see they will fill in here as the page loads. So I'm going to show you how to add those right now. Let's go back to our dashboard. Let's click on that, and we're going to take a look at the various options available to you, and I'll explain how you use each one of those and why they are going to make your website a lot more socially friendly. So when you click on the link, you'll be taken to the dashboard here, and you can see the various settings that are available to us. And as always, if you have questions, you can click to read the FAQ. These folks have wonderful documentation that you can go read, but I think if you just follow along with this video, you're not going to have any issues. So to begin, let's look at the various options. The first one, which icons do you want to use on your website? What do you want the icons to do? Where will they be displayed? Again, one of the things that I really love about this plugin is how customizable it is and how flexible it is, because it will let you add the social media icons anywhere you like. Again, if we refer back over to my other website, you'll see that I have them posted at the top of each one of my articles. If I go to Interviewing Authors, you're going to be not only at the top of the articles, but also at the bottom, all of the blog posts. You can see I literally, or blog posts, I'm sorry, literally use them all over the website, and we'll talk about how you can do that too. So let's go back over. The first thing you do is address which icons you want to show on your website. And they have the most common ones here. They've got the RSS feed, your email link, Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and then some third-party icons. Let's talk about the ones that you're probably going to use most. Now, you'll notice that they say this one's mandatory and this one's mandatory and this one's strongly recommended. Them saying it's mandatory really is their opinion. It's mandatory only if that applies to your website or your blog. For example, the RSS feed, if I click on read more, of course, it's going to tell me a little bit more. Stands for really simple syndication. It's an easy way for people to read your content. Basically what happens is they can tap into your RSS feed, and whenever you publish content, it will automatically go out to them. If you're doing a blog where you are doing regular content updates like I do on Entrepreneur Code, then you will want to have RSS code clicked. For this website, for the Learn to Blog Free, I don't need an RSS code, so I'm going to leave it unclicked. One of the things that I do use is an email sign up. Now, if I click on that, it's going to tell me basically that this is the way for you to offer email subscription options to your users. If you have that clicked and they do click on that, they will have the ability to perhaps opt into a list or do something else, however you have it set up. Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, I think it goes without saying that you do want to connect to those social media websites. If you have a YouTube channel, you want to do the same, LinkedIn, because it's just going to make it's a really convenient, quick way for your visitors to connect with you, not only on the website or blog, but on Facebook, Twitter, Google. And realize this, the more connections that you can build with your audience, the better. Whenever someone comes to your website, you should encourage them to like your Facebook page, follow you on Twitter, sign up for your updates elsewhere, and just really build that relationship. So I'm not going to go through each one of these. You can do that when you get it installed. But for now, I want an email icon, Facebook, Twitter, Google, and YouTube icons to show up on my website. So once I tell it which icons I want, I then have the option to tell the system what I want those icons to do. For example, with the email icon, send your new post automatically to subscribers. It's free. You get full access to your subscriber list. So if you are going to have that, you have the choice of having either the email icon, that's the little graphic there, show up, or you can do a follow icon, or if you are using specific feeds, which is another provider, you can click there. I really like the look of this one. It has the little envelope and the word follow. If I scroll down, I'm going to tell it what I want it to do. When someone mouses over that icon, do I want them to visit my Facebook page? Well, if I do, I have to enter my Facebook page there. Do I want them to like my blog on Facebook, share my blog, or do I want them to do all three? And the way that works is when they hover over an icon, then they'll see a little pop-up menu that'll give them the choice. And you do that with each icon you're going to use. How do you want your Twitter icon to act? Do you want them to visit you on Twitter, follow you on Twitter? Do you want them to tweet about the page? And on and on. What do you want your Google Plus icon to do? What do you want your YouTube icon to do? One thing specifically you always want to do if you've got a YouTube channel is to have people subscribe to your channel. The more subscribers, the better. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, you should certainly think about getting one. All right, so once you tell it what you want these icons to do, you simply click Save. So now we know which icons we want to include. We know what we want them to do. And now we'll move on to the next step, which is telling the system where to display the icons. Now, you have a lot of leeway here. You can show them in a widget. Remember, the widget area is the sidebar area here where you can add a widget to your navigation. You can have them float on the page. Basically, if you do that, they're just going to appear on the page wherever you indicate they are going to show up. Okay. Or, and this is the one I like, you can place them manually. And the way that you do that is through the use of what they call short codes. So if you look at this, place them manually, place the following string into your theme codes, meaning you can drop this directly into the theme code, or, and this is what you should do, just use the short code to display them wherever you like. I'm just going to copy that. And don't be intimidated by this, because basically all you're going to do is open up one of your pages or posts and paste in this line. All right, so I'm going to do them manually. Let me click on Save. All right, The next setup is what design and animation do you want to give your icons. A good and well-fitting design is not only nice to look at, but increases the chances of people subscribing. So how do you want them to look? Do you want them to look somewhat faded or gradient? Do you want them to just look in a flat, meaning they're a flat color? Do you want thin, cute, cubes? However you want them to look, and whatever looks best on your site, you can choose from this menu. For example, see the dark ones here? That's what I use on my Entrepreneur Code. See how nicely those look with the black background? These little icons here come from the program we're looking at now. So for this website and for the demonstration purposes, I'm just going to choose flat. And I'm going to, they ask, do you want to animate them? Now what that means is you can do mouse over effects where they fade into the page, or when someone mouses over, they scale or get larger, or they fade and scale. Do whatever you want to do there. You can shuffle them, meaning that the order will be shuffled. You can do that when the site is first loaded, or you can set them to shuffle after a few seconds. I'm going to just leave those mouse and effects there. And again, if you don't want any effects, you just uncheck the box. The next setting is number 5. Do you want to display counts next to your menu options? That simply means, do you want to show the number of counts or the number of times people have clicked on those specific icons? You know, if you've got a highly trafficked website and it's, you know, you're getting a lot of clicks and that sort of thing, you can show the counts. I do that over here. On this website, you can see that we've had 140 likes. Twitter's not showing, but 140 there. If you want the count to show up, that's great. But if you don't have too many numbers, there's really nothing to brag about. So I will typically leave the count off. All right. And the next one, any other wishes for your main icons? Don't you love it when they give you options? Okay. You can change the order of your icons. You simply grab and drag them wherever you want. You can do the spacing. Do you want them 40 pixels wide and 40 pixels tall? Do you want them smaller, larger? How much space do you want between? Right now, these are 40 by 40 pixels. They're actually a square image. It just looks circular, but it's 40 by 40, and there are 5 pixels of space between. Do you want a particular alignment? Do you want them aligned left on the page? Do you want them aligned centered? How do you want those icons displayed? Also, you've got language options there, etc., etc. You can have the user click in a new window so they remain on your website. I do recommend that. All right. So read through this. It's a lot here. I'm not going to cover everything. You can read through. I'm just going to hit the basics. I'm going to hit save. And do you want to display a pop-up asking people to subscribe, or do you want to show a subscription form? Before we get into that, let's look at what we have already done with the social media icons. Now, you'll remember I copied that line of code for the short code on where I wanted my icons displayed. I copied this piece of code right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place it manually. So let's just go over to Pages. And what we're looking at here, this is the actual back end of this website that you are learning on right now. So let's see, let's choose one of those pages. How about Course Overview? And you can see right now Course Overview does not have buttons or social media links. I'm going to go back over into my pages. I'm going to find the Course Overview page right there. And one thing you're going to notice about this page is I have YouTube video embedded in this page, this video here. I'm going to teach you how to do that in another tutorial. That is a YouTube plugin. Again, very much cut and paste. You can see this one line of code here is what brings in that video. I'm going to teach you how to do that in another video. But for now, let's say I want my little Facebook, Twitter, social media icons to display at the top. What I've done is I've just pasted in the line of code. Let's click on Preview Changes. And you can see when I go back to the page, I have added the icons that I just set up. And you can see when I mouse over, remember when we set the settings for what do you want this icon to do? Well, I had obviously 3 things checked, so my visitor can visit the page, they can just like the page, or they can share it. All right, they can follow me on Twitter, they can look at my Google Plus page, they can go check out my YouTube channel, or they can subscribe. All right, so you see how simple that was? I simply added the plugin, and then I set it up like I wanted it to act, and then I just copied in that line of code right there, and it drops it in. Now, if you want the line of code on every page, you just indicate that in the setting. You tell it where you want it to be, and that way you don't have to do this manually. You can just drop it in automatically, and you don't have to worry about it. It will literally be on every post that you do. Every time you add a new blog post, those links for social media are going to show up wherever you have them. So let's go back now and go back into my Ultimate Social Media Plus settings. I'm going to go ahead and leave that page because I am not using social media links on most of this website because it is a private website. But let's go back over to the Ultimate Social dashboard. Now let's scroll down and let's talk about adding a pop-up. Now, you may find pop-ups annoying. I know I do when they're on someone else's website, but when they're on mine, I think they're great. And one of the reasons is it's a really good way to get the attention of the user as they come to your site and ask them if they would like to do something. And if you do it tastefully, and you don't have the pop-up on every page, they're not going to get too upset with you. So let's look at this. You can increase chances that people share or follow you by displaying a pop-up asking them to, and this will let us design that. So right now, you remember I indicated that I wanted to use these icons. That's why you see them here. So what I can do is I can change this. If I want to say something other than enjoy this blog, spread the word, I can do that. I can just say click to spread the word. I can change the font, and you can see as I make changes down here, changes are reflected here. I can do the font style. Do I want it normal? I want it oblique, which is italics. Inherit simply means it will inherit the style sheets that are on the site. Okay. I can change my background color. Instead of a light blue, if I wanted, I could set it to whatever I like. If I want to set the border color, I can. You can see how that works. So you can customize this. You can change the border thickness. You can change the shadow. If I want to turn the shadow off, I can do that. If I want to change my text size to something bigger or smaller, I can do that. Very flexible. All right. Now, where will we show the pop-in? Well, right now it's not going to show anywhere. I can have it pop up on every page, which you will have people swearing out death warrants against you if you do that. You can have it do on blog posts only, meaning it won't come up on pages. It'll only come up on posts. Or you can do it on select pages. So if you click on selected pages, what I can do is, you can see, please hold Control key to select multiple pages. If I click in that little square, it's going to show me all of the pages that I have on the site. And if I wanted to show up on, let's say I wanted to show up on custom services, if I wanted to show up on more than one, all I have to do is hold down the Control key and just Control click, and it'll show up on all of those. So if you want to deselect it, you do that. So I'm going to have this show up only on my custom services page. When shall the pop-up be shown? Well, I think once after 1 second, I think would be good. You can do it every time the user scrolls to the end of the page. Again, you're bordering on obnoxious. So let's see what happens there. I'm going to save the settings. Now, if you'll remember, I put that on the services page. So now when I click on services, let's see what happens. See that? I went to the page, and after 1 second, the pop-up popped up, and it asks me, do I want to follow? Do I want to Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube? How cool is that? So easy to do. Now, if I want to take that off, all I have to do is go back into my control panel, and just deselect that page or just choose nowhere. Typically, you would have this come in on your home page. That way, the first time that it comes, they come to the home page, they're going to see it and just use it there again. I see some sites that have it on every page. I think that's completely obnoxious. I leave that site before you know what happens. So use this wisely, but do use it. The next thing that this will let you do is, do you want to show a subscription form to increase signups? Now let's take a look at that. In addition to the email or follow icon, you can also show a subscription form which maximizes chances that people subscribe to your site. And you can do this via a widget, and you should know what widgets are by now. You can do the short code. Short code simply means you cut and paste that piece of code where you want it to go. Or you can set up a page. If you just want a subscribe page, you can copy and paste that HTML into a new page, and it will build a whole new page for you. All right, and you do have some options over design. You can adjust your the size to space on the website, meaning that if it is a widget in the right-hand bar, it is going to be the width that your table cell is. You can have a border. You can turn the border off. You can change the thickness, etc., etc. If you want text above the box, you can have that there. Okay. Whatever your entry field looks like, you can really customize this to an amazing degree. So you just go in here and set what you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it in a widget. Go to the widget settings and drag and drop it to the sidebar here. So once I have all of my settings done, and that's a lot of settings, I just click Save. Now when I go over to my widgets menu, and if you haven't watched the widgets video yet, you need to go do so. So here we are at the widgets page. I'm going to scroll down and I'm looking for Ultimate Social Plus. Now remember, previously we had added a widget, or we had created a widget with the social media links. We're not going to use that. We want the one that will let us add a subscribe form. So if I click on that, add to widget, and pardon my screen magnifying. Ever since I got old, my screen thinks the font needs to be larger. I'm going to move this to the top so you can see it better. And basically, this is going to be the form that we just created where someone could subscribe. And I'm just going to type in the word subscribe, click Save. Let's go back out to the website and refresh the page. And there is our widget. So get new posts by email. What happens is when they enter their email address, they go into the subscriber database, and whenever you update the site, they will receive an email automatically that says, hey, there's a new blog post, come over and read with us. So that is how you do it. Now I'm going to remove that widget. If you don't want it, you can delete it, you can move it around, but that is it. Now again, the plugin is called Ultimate Social Media Plus, and if you don't have it installed, simply go to the plugins page, click Add New, do a search on that, and once it's installed, come here to the dashboard and set it like you want it. Which icons do you want to use? What do you want them to do? What's going to be displayed? And you can also include, remember, an opt-in or a pop-up. So I think you can see why this is one of my absolute favorite plugins, simply because it does the work of 5 or 6 plugins. So install it, give it a go. If you have any issues, they have great help files, and I think you're going to find this is a really great addition to your website.